Okay. Uploaded a bunch of videos yesterday for you guys to watch and eat your popcorn. They may or may not have been of interest to you, but I uploaded them anyway. So, gives me something to do. Might give you something to do. So, I talked about this wildlife observation little project thing, right? So, I planned on doing it last night, but it got late yesterday because of messing around with all the videos. So, I didn't end up doing it because I started putting some stuff, pulling some stuff to put together for outside to be out there for a while. Because, dusk, you got to go out before dusk because that's when stuff starts moving around. You start seeing things like, the cats and there are other critters that start moving around about dusk. So if you're not already out there and set up by that time, then you're too late. And then you see stuff at night as well. So I decided to go ahead and just postpone it. What I'm going to do is today I'm going to make myself a list of things. And then I'm just going to make this kind of a little adventure thing. I may even bring the camera. But don't expect a whole lot because I got to be out there watching and listening and stuff. But I thought, well, maybe I'll take the camera too and just I might take some video. Just depends. Just depends on how fiddly things get. Because it is cold and outside and there's still snow and everything, and you got to try to be quiet because you're waiting for wildlife, and they ain't gonna show up if you're not being quiet. So I may or may not take video. Anyway, my video camera is not good. I'm already talking myself out of it. So if I had a videographer like on finding Bigfoot or something like that, then I might really not even think about it, just do it, right? Anyway, they never find Bigfoot because they don't know what they're doing. They keep treating it like it's some kind of just another ape. It's not. I had words with that Maria Mayer woman. She didn't seem to like what I had to say about werewolf and video and stuff, because I sent her my werewolf video. She could check it out. She'd seen it, but she didn't say nothing about it. Because she's one of those people that they go to college, they study anthropology, and, or man's just another evolution of the ape. Wrong. No. So there's no link there. Anyway, so I thought I'd kind of make this a bit of a spooky video as well, because people in town here in the village, they know me. So I was in the village the other day. I thought I'll bring this story up. It's not my story. It's a story from another guy. He lives out yonder, south of here, a little ways, and he is abutted to a state forest or land preserve. I don't know, some big thicket of woods over his way. He's living on property. He's a renter, though. He's renting from someone there who owns the property. It's an old one. It's an old property. And but he came up to me and he told me, he says, man, he says, I had to come into town and see if I could find you. I was at the post office. And I said, what's up? And he says, man, he says, you're never going to believe what happened to me. I said, well, I'm waiting. He says, I saw Bigfoot. This is the second sighting in this area of Bigfoot. I've never seen Bigfoot, ever. I saw a werewolf. Not many people see those either, but I saw a werewolf, and that was no joke. I'm not going to go into all that. There's videos on here where I talk about the werewolf again, because I'll never get over seeing that. But anyway, he says, I saw Bigfoot. I said, what do you mean you saw Bigfoot? I said, are you sure? He says, yep. He says, I saw it. He says, you know, I'm renting that place over by that forest. I mean, everything's forest around here, but this is, you know, actual public land, right? And it's not somebody else's property like here where I got woods, my own woods, small patch of woods, you know. It's a big place. So anyway, he says, I'm sitting out on my porch this morning, and he says, I was drinking my coffee. I said, oh, that's a good hobby, drinking coffee, right? So he said he was sitting out on his porch, probably kind of about like I'm doing right now. And he says he was sitting in a rocking chair, and he was just kind of gently rocking a little bit, having his morning coffee. He says then all of a sudden he saw the trees start moving. Because the porch that he's on, this is a 1700s home that he's renting. The porch that he's sitting on is facing towards that wood, that forest. He says, I saw the trees start moving. I said, okay. I said, you know, happens all the time, right? And he says, but there wasn't any wind. He says, I stopped rocking my rocket chair to see if it was me. He says, then I just kept intently looking at the trees. And he says, there was only one place where the trees were moving. And he says, and then he said he noticed that it wasn't trees. It was about 8 or 9 feet tall. And there were arms and legs, long ones, especially arms. And the arms were like about the same length as the legs. He said, well, it was really about 8 foot, maybe 9. He says, but definitely about 8 foot tall. And he says that I saw those arms. He says, especially the arms. He says the legs were. He thought that the legs should have been longer for the height of the thing. He said it was in the tree line, walking. He said nothing else was moving, just that. And he swears up and down it was Bigfoot. And you know, to tell you the truth, I believe him, because there was a Bigfoot sighting in that same area a number of years ago. So either it's the same one or it's an offspring, right? So yeah, very interesting story. So he told me, he says, I drove over here into the village just to walk around and look to see if you were here. And I was, you know, I don't go into the village all that often, just a few times a week. You know, mostly to get my mail and whatnot, right? Check on some things, you know, just be friendly. You got to be friendly with your local populace, even if you don't like them that well. you got to try to be friendly with your local populace, because as things go down, you know, you don't want nobody that doesn't like you to, you know, make that more of a priority to like you, not like you more, right? But yeah, because they know where I stand in politics and stuff. There's a lot of commies around here. So, yeah, Bigfoot, right? So I got the old lantern out. I thought, tell a spooky story. Have my amber lensed deets. They call this the 8-day lantern. I don't think it'd burn 8 days, but it came with a red globe. And this is it was made for New England here, and it was a highway department lantern. It actually has a position where you can lock it in an angle so you can hang it outside on the porch of the highway department. This is from the 1930s, okay, and it had a mystery leak in the seam there somewhere. But I got this stuff that they use for coating the inside of drag racing car fuel tanks. I got some of that gas tank liner, and I put it in there, and that stopped that noise real quick. But I could not. There's no rusted hole or anything like that. And I'm thinking it was just like the seam was like seeping. You know, just a tiny seep. It was annoying because I really like this oil lamp. Anyway, I got that fixed, and now I'm using it for a few years now. So yeah, figure maybe I'll just kind of make a thing of this and Saturday night. So I might even take two pokes, have one pole in the other. It just depends. I mean, it's warming up a good bit. If all of my snow melts off, I'll figure something else out. Because I do have a 4-wheeled deer cart, you know, that I can haul stuff into, right? So I've got that. I've got the pokes. So I'll just have to see what happens with my snow. If my snow stays, then I'll use the pokes. Like I said, I might use two. I might pull one with the other. And then take me some comfort items out. Just spend all evening in it and late into the night out there. Maybe I'll have a Bigfoot watch, right? In addition to watching for those doggone cats. Cat scratch fever. I'm running out of time. I got like a minute and a half left. So while I'm on this minute and a half left subject, so I don't have a lot of time, so I'll just talk about these cookies. So I got these chocolate chip cookies here. There's 3 of them here. Figured I might as well get 3 because I'll eat them, right? But these are homemade chocolate chip cookies, and they're made with a modern recipe. And they're all right, but they are not like Mom's, right? When Mom made them back in the day, long ago, these things would come out of the oven, they'd be nice and soft, and they'd still be soft even later. They would not immediately just get hard as a rock like these are. So I was thinking here a couple days ago, I thought, man, these clowns are messing with traditional recipes because of people who have intolerances to stuff. This has got to stop. So I started searching around, and I found the original 1939 recipe for Toll House cookies. It does not even call for semi-sweet chocolate chips because they didn't exist then. They used to cut up semi-sweet chocolate bars for the purpose, right? But I found the recipe, and the next time dough will be made, it will be made with that recipe, and we'll see what happens. If you want that recipe, all you got to do is drop me a line in the email, and I will send it to you, okay? It's the original Toll House cookies. The original recipe. None of this baloney they got going on now. See you there.